Network TV's foremost nepotistic guessing game that combines pop culture trivia, confirmation biases, and contestants convincing themselves that people look like people they look nothing like returns for a third season of sleuthing, clue solving, and the most fashionable slacks you've ever seen. Claim to Fame is back, and so is the Recap Corner. I'm Lizzie Frizzle. Let's talk about some TV.
I have missed saying that so much. Oh, God.
In the 2 years since its initial debut, Claim to Fame has become my favorite summer reality show. And yes, that's a dig at Big Brother. Bring back the Night 1 live feeds! I love competition shows with a puzzle to solve, like The Mole or Are You the One? And though at first I wondered if figuring out which celebrities a group of people are related to was a puzzle I was interested in solving, turns out I super am. The show is exciting, the editing is excellent, though not a strength of this particular episode, and the contestants play hard because they want to win to prove that they're talented too, and finally earn their own claim to fame. Also $100,000. Season 3, Episode 1 is called Almost Unfamous. It begins like last season with our hosts Kevin and Franklin, the Bardic Brothers Jonas, driving to set.
Dude, why am I in the sidecar? Is that even a question?
The producer's ability to keep coming up with new ways to poke fun at Franklin for not being in the band is as impressive as it is starting to get a little stale. But it's also basically the entire premise of the show, so I don't think it's going anywhere. We arrive at a mansion, and after a quick jacket change, the Joe Bros meet the 11 new contestants. Danny, Diedrich, Bianca, Shane, Naomi, Mackenzie, Miguel, Jill, Adam, Gracie Lou, and Hud. Something I loved about Claim to Fame's first 2 seasons is how many cast members played strategically, and this new group seems even bolder. We've seen people use fake names before, but never as cleverly as Miguel is attempting to.
I am also using a fake name to make people think that I am more Spanish than I actually am.
Miguel looks familiar, like Antonio Banderas. If he were older, he would be identical, I think.
That woman who doesn't know what Antonio Banderas looks like calls herself Gracie Lou, also a fake name. And beyond that, she's come prepared with an entire fake persona to convince people that she's related to a Southern country music star.
I really want people to believe that I come from a country music family, and Gracie Lou is such a Southern sounding name. I have created this character, Gracie Lou, who dresses with her boots and has a little Southern twang.
Did she get the idea for the fake accent from Kevin Jonas?
And the biggest award that he's ever won is an Academy of Country Music Award.
That was the best fake accent I've ever heard.
But the boldest new contestant of all is Shane, who's so confident he shows up wearing a clue to his relative's identity.
I can't get over the necklace, man.
Chicken on a chain.
Chicken on a chain.
That's right, you heard it here first. Shane's celebrity relative, who he tells us is a Hollywood icon, is Drag Race alum and pit stop legend, Cornbread Jeté. As is series tradition, the competition begins with a game of 2 truths and a lie. Each contestant reveals what industry their relative works in, the biggest award they've won, and how they're related. But unsurprisingly, one of those things will be a lie. As is also a more annoying series tradition, some people's facts get skipped over, so I filled in the gaps using this screenshot from later on. Gracie Lou says her uncle is an Emmy-winning musician. Naomi supposedly got a singing cousin who's won a Young Artist Award. Shane claims his cousin is an Oscar-winning actor. Miguel's grandfather is also an Oscar-winning actor, except not really because he reveals in an interview that he's lying about the grandfather part. Jill's grandfather is an actor with a People's Choice Award, allegedly. Bianca says her actor aunt has a Peabody, a prestigious journalism award the rest of the cast has never heard of.
And the highest award she received is the Peabody Award.
Was that for, like, Nickelodeon?
And Hud's singing mom, Diedrich's singing uncle, Adam's actor uncle, who we later learn is secretly his musician uncle, and Danny's wrestler uncle all apparently have Grammys.
So many Grammys. I wish they were that easy.
Mackenzie says her dad is a singer who's won a Tony, but she quickly tells us that he's actually won a Grammy. With her lie, she hopes to trick her castmates into wasting time theorizing about stage actors. I think her attempt to use Broadway as a diversion could be a potentially winning strategy, but it's so early on. I also think it's just as likely that someone pulls the clue about her relative, solves it, and eliminates her all in the next episode. That's just the way the claim goes. With everyone's truth-telling and a little bit of lying out of the way, the cast moves into the mansion. They're anxious to take in the fabled clue wall, a mural of seemingly mundane objects that in some way all connect to the celebrity relatives' identities. In the past, it contributed to the demise of more than one contestant.
At the bottom, there's some pencils. Then there's tools that need to be sharpened. Sharpened. Al Sharpton. That's the bitch from Forrest Gump.
What? These freaking clues are so freaking obvious! Freaking bench! That's a freaking poster of freaking Forrest Gump! Are you kidding me?
But now, the clue wall is locked behind a set of wooden doors, and the cast has no clue how to open them. With no wall to study, Miguel scours the mansion for hints, like he's looking for a hidden immunity idol.
I wonder if there's any, clues here already. Oh, never mind. It's definitely not a clue.
What do you think he saw under there? That night, the contestants participate in their first challenge, the annual talent show that's kicked off all 3 seasons, though this time a lot's changed, like the location, the rules, and the talents themselves. The historic theater venues are out. The mansion's backyard is in. The live audience is still there, even though their applause no longer determines who wins and loses. Now, the cast scores each other. And instead of prepared acts, everyone showcases 3 separate talents, with only the items in a provided prop room to help. But at least there's a wide variety to choose from.
These talents can be a wide variety of categories, whether that's musical, physical, visual, comedic, or something that's a complete wild card.
What's funny about the robot? Are you supposed to do like a Jeff Dunham impersonation with it? The contestant with the most popular performance wins a clue about someone's celebrity relative and immunity from elimination. The 2 cast members with the worst ranked acts land in the bottom 2 and risk becoming the guesser at the season's first guess-off. If you haven't seen Claim to Fame but are watching this anyway, that means they could get eliminated. The first contestant to display their talents is Adam. He hacky sacks to show off his physical side, does a silly drum solo, and recites a goofy monologue, hoping to solidify the lie that he's related to an actor.
It's been weeks without my cell phone. No water. And the food's all right.
He wanted to sing, but couldn't because he sounds too similar to his uber-famous Grammy-winning uncle.
One thing I'm really excited about is singing and sharing my music. However, I can't go up there and sing because I sound like my celebrity relative, and it's a dead giveaway.
Though we see all 3 of Adam's talents, several contestants' performances are reduced to incomplete snippets, like in the game of 2 Truths and a Lie. And there's no screenshot of Bianca's notes for me to use to fill in the blanks this time. What does make air is that Mackenzie taps some time steps, Jill pulls a paper chain out of her mouth, Diedrich paints, Bianca paints, but worse, then ribbon dances, Danny breaks a board, draws the Joe Bros, and performs stand-up that bombs because he doesn't use the robot.
Just flew in. Arms are tired.
Jill pulls more paper out of her mouth. Hud does 2 exercises.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Naomi doesn't hula hoop, then does sing part of Amazing Grace.
I hope she can sing.
Amazing Grace.
Shane catches grapes, juggles, and does a split. Jill pulls more paper out of her mouth. Miguel almost reads a poem called Storms of Life.
This poem's called Storms of Life. Sorry. Just a second. Show. Sorry.
What was the volleyball for? Finally, Gracie Lou balances a big feather on her nose, then sings and plays guitar. And Naomi took that personally.
I hope that you didn't notice all these feelings that I got. Oh, but it can't.
Thanks, Gracie Lou. Go on and Throw it in our faces some more how awesome and talented you are.
Gracie Lou is voted the winner of the challenge by her castmates. Probably not Naomi, though. While broken-hearted Bianca and poet laureate Miguel are the bottom two. One will guess the identity of someone's celebrity relative at the upcoming guess-off. So, the annual talent show isn't something I loved as much about the first two seasons, and I like this new version even less. I think the show should stop doing groups of 3 things if they're going to edit a bunch of stuff out every time. Or what if people perform 3 talents, but one of them secretly connects to their celebrity relative? I wish we saw how at least some of the cast voted. And this isn't anyone's fault, but this season, no one's talent was being bad at basketball. I was hoping that would become a weird, unexpected tradition inside the tradition of the talent show, but it's still funny that it happened twice in a row. Back at the mansion, the bottom two both try to rally the votes to avoid being the season's first guesser. Bianca checks in with her new bestie, Gracie Lou. I guess they get along really well and have already formed a close friendship, but we didn't see any of that because it wasn't relevant until now. Should Bianca become the guesser, they agree that Shane looks like Forrest Whitaker. Later, Bianca shares her thoughts with Jill and Mackenzie, hoping that sociability and offering information will earn her allies. Elsewhere, Miguel tries to secure the biggest ally of all, God.
Please, God, I know I don't pray often. I know I'm not a very good Christian, but please help me.
Eventually, Adam checks on him, and after a failed manifestation,
Just don't cry on camera, don't cry on camera, don't cry on camera. Don't cry on camera, don't cry on camera.
Miguel explains that he badly wants to win because the prize money would help his mom. In the season's first, and I hope only, emotional backstory segment, we learn that once when he was younger, Miguel's mom needed surgery that their celebrity relative paid for. But now that he's grown, Miguel wants to be the person providing for her by winning a TV show he's only eligible to be on because of the relative who helped his mom. But for someone who desperately wants to win, Miguel has no inklings about who any of his castmates are.
Someone's celebrity relative is like a physicist or some sort of like author for something.
Oh, Bianca with the Peabody.
Especially with all these books, like,
Yeah, you gotta leave that train.
I don't know.
A physicist? Even when they're off the beaten path of what celebrity typically means, like Jimmy Carter last season, the relatives' identities still have to be guessable. Who knows any physicists besides Stephen Hawking and Sheldon Cooper? And Neil deGrasse Tyson, except the show already used him. But Miguel's Cher Horowitz impersonation, 'cause he's clueless, is the very thing that makes Adam want to keep him around. In an interview, he explains that his relative was prominent in the 80s and 90s, decades an older contestant like Bianca is most likely to know about. Above all, Adam wants to protect Miguel so the person he sees as the biggest threat to him, Bianca, will end up as the guesser with a chance of getting eliminated. Meanwhile, Franklin sneaks into the mansion and unlocks the clue wall. I thought locking it up was a fun twist, but this resolution feels anticlimactic. Miguel and Bianca were at a big disadvantage without the ability to study the wall before the first guess-off, so I was glad for them that it got revealed, but couldn't the cast have solved, like, one puzzle to find a key instead of Franklin just quietly opening it? In a change from season 2, there are no longer fake clues on the wall, that we know of. I think it's a good choice, especially since last time the show never bothered to explain which clues were fake. As the cast takes in the wall by shouting out things they notice, both they and the editing draw our attention to several specific objects, like bacon and eggs,
Sam I Am.
I was thinking Breakfast Club.
I was thinking that too.
a robin, and a birdcage.
I love Birdcage. That's cool if someone's related to Robin Williams.
Gracie Lou recognizes a clue about her relative, a mallard duck. I think we all know who she's related to.
Is that thing quacking? That's really weird. Quack, quack, quack. Like, shut the up.
Adam spots a lightning bolt and worries it's an obvious giveaway as to his uncle's identity. Amid this torrential downpour of new clues, Miguel remains without a single one. First, he complained that it was impossible to make any progress without the clue wall.
The clue wall is locked. How the hell am I supposed to infer anything about anyone if that thing's locked?
And now,
looking at this clue wall, I have no idea who any of these people are.
Elsewhere in the wine cellar, challenge winner Gracie Lou gets a different kind of clue, a rebus puzzle about the celebrity relative of her choice. Each rebus is sealed inside a wine bottle with the corresponding contestant's name printed on it, as well as a unique date that in 3 seasons the show has never revealed the meaning of. Does it mean nothing? Gracie Lou chooses to take Naomi's clue, someone she sees as a threat in the game and maybe in a sing-off too.
The easiest part is the beginning of this clue because it spells out Brat Pack. And then there's like a scary looking bat with nails in it. You know, maybe they're in a mob. Maybe they like marry a princess or something, or...
I'll talk about what I think the rest of Naomi's clue means soon. First, Adam tries to plant the seeds that'll hopefully blossom into Bianca becoming the guesser. But Mackenzie, Hud, and Jill tell him that everyone's already decided to vote for Miguel, who appears to be eavesdropping as they say it. Later, Bianca and Gracie Lou grow more confident that Shane is related to Forrest Whitaker.
My gut is saying Shane is Forrest Whitaker. I see the dog, I see tickets and the little popcorn. Maybe that could be Ghost Dog, the bus, Fast Time at Ridgemont High, the Army Men, Good Morning Vietnam. Shane, you do not want me to be the guesser.
Once again, Miguel is depicted as eavesdropping, but this time we know he actually was, because finally armed with some information, his gameplay goes from 0 to whatever speed you'd be going if the accelerator broke and you couldn't slow down. First, he finds Shane.
Gracie and Bianca are in cahoots right now. I don't know what they've got on who, but for certain, Bianca was trying to go for you. If I were to get a clue at any point, you'll get it.
Unless Shane knew Bianca was wrong, but Miguel doesn't mention Forrest Whitaker that we see, why would he want to vote someone as the guesser who wants to guess his relative's identity? And Miguel's pitches only get worse.
I will get guessed off tonight if I am the guesser, because as it stands right now, I don't have enough to work with to guess for anybody.
Miguel doesn't have any idea who anyone is in the house. So my obvious choice is Miguel as the guesser.
As Bianca slips on her sleep mask, Miguel sprints through the mansion, fighting to secure votes while underscored by the most satisfyingly on-the-nose music choice since the challenge Karma Chameleon Fessel.
Save me from myself, save me from my soul.
Too much unhinged scrambling can often make someone an undesirable ally, but Miguel can spin this. In a few weeks, the cast is probably going to play the same game of telephone they played in the first 2 seasons, and what better teammate than someone you already know has the endurance to run around the mansion?
Miguel's running around like a chicken without a head.
There's a lot of money on the line. This is not a game to me, and if that means having to sweep a stranger under the rug, I will do whatever possible.
Please, God, I need the money so badly. Please, God.
Is there a season premiere better than Claim to Fame's? Season 1, dramatic disqualification at the first guess-off. Season 2, melodramatic tantrum at the first guess-off. Season 3, freak out before the first guess-off even happens. Still, as entertaining as the segment was, I wish we saw what Miguel was having so many conversations about. Ahead of the guess-off, we know very little about what most of the cast is thinking, aside from early ideas about people's relatives.
Danny looks just like Jelly Roll. I don't know. That's what I saw. He's got the mullet going for him.
Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, he could be their love child.
Someone said for Miguel, Jeff Goldblum. You know Desi Arnaz?
Arnaz? I don't.
He was married to Lucille Ball.
Yes.
As for my ideas about people's relatives, I just want to quickly say that I'm not going to Google anything about anything, I promise. I'm staying off the Claim to Fame subreddit. All my speculations all season will be based on nothing but the hazy bits of half information already swirling around my aging brain. And if you don't want to hear about that or any other stuff that could turn out to be sort of a spoiler if right, like what the rest of Naomi's clue means, just skip ahead to the time I'm about to say and put on screen. Thanks. 1935. Anyway, all that said, I don't have many thoughts after just one episode. I'm really bad at recognizing who people look like. The only person on this show I've ever correctly identified that way was Chris last season. I think because my mom made me watch Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat too many times, clearly. In this season, based on the Rebus puzzle about Naomi's relative, I think it's Molly Ringwald, the Brat Pack queen who was in the Breakfast Club. I don't get why the picture of the club comes before the pictures of the breakfasts, and I'm also not sure why there are 4 breakfasts, but I think that's what it says regardless. Based on Adam's lie about his uncle's career, he changed musician to actor, and his reaction to the lightning bolt on the clue wall.
How obvious can you get?
I thought he was related to David Bowie, but I mostly changed my mind when he cited the 80s and 90s, not the 70s, as eras when his relative was prominent. At the Guess Off, the show's elimination ceremony, contestants enter the Voto booth to vote for which of the episode's bottom 2 should become the guesser, who's responsible for guessing the identity of one of their castmates' celebrity relatives. If they guess correctly, they stay in the game. If they're wrong, their own relative is revealed, eliminating them from the competition. Also, the challenge winner, Gracie Lou, and the current bottom 2, Miguel and Bianca, don't vote.
The results are in, and it has been decided by a single vote. Bianca, I'm sorry. You are the guesser tonight.
This shocked me. Last we heard, almost the entire cast was going to vote for Miguel. Did Adam eventually convince enough of them to vote for Bianca instead? Or did Miguel's scrambling actually work? These and other questions are tough to answer because we don't see how everyone votes. As expected, Bianca guesses that Shane's celebrity relative is Forrest Whitaker.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
Looks like Shane did want Bianca to be the guesser after all. Forrest Whitaker has now played such a big part in 2 seasons of Claim to Fame. If the show continues and someone related to him ever is in the cast, it'll be a very satisfying reveal. Unfortunately for Bianca, her incorrect guess makes her Season 3's first eliminee. Her celebrity relative turns out to be Good Morning America anchor Robin Roberts.
Wow. Of course, longtime friend of our family is your aunt. I should have known.
After Robin Roberts' reveal, I started to wonder if Gracie Lou is right about someone being connected to Robin Williams. Last season, several celebrity relatives had overlapping clues, like Donny Osmond and Dolly Parton both recording a song called Puppy Love. Could the Robin on this season's clue wall be a reference to both Robin Roberts and Robin Williams? The cast will have to figure it out, sans Bianca.
My bestie.
I played it well. I didn't embarrass the family.
These freaking clues are so freaking obvious! Freaking bench! That's the freaking poster of freaking Forrest Gump! Are you kidding me?
In an Us Weekly interview, Bianca shared that she chickened out applying for the real world when she was younger, so I'm really sad that her house reality experience was cut so short. I'm also disappointed we won't ever find out if her clever plan to pretend to be related to Peabody winner and Abbott Elementary creator Quinta Brunson would have worked. But I'm most curious to know if Bianca could have saved herself had her new friend Gracie Lou shared her clue from the wine cellar. At the end of the episode, we join the cast at the kitchen table, where Diedrich makes a gaffe so big you'd think he's running for president.
You can do this one.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do that in front of my kids because they'll actually try it. Problem is, I'll walk into the ER or something and they'll be like, "For real, Mr. Jackson again?"
Despite the editor's A-plus job compiling footage that could be interpreted as Diedrich looking nervous and/or sweaty, only Naomi seems to notice his slip-up. Still, that might be all it takes.
Holy. Everybody knows that Michael Jackson's in The Wiz. And the Scarecrow's on the frickin' clue wall.
Diedrich was my favorite personality in the premiere, so initially I hoped that his last name just happens to be Jackson, until I remembered something from early in the episode that suddenly feels like foreshadowing.
My uncle
is one of the most famous and iconic people in the world. I've never had to hide it before. I hope the beans don't fall out of my mouth.
Next, I convinced myself that he's such a strategic genius, Diedrich faked the mistake in a moment of Shane-level misdirection.
My strategy going into this house is misdirection.
And Shane-level acting.
I've been trained in theater. I know how to manipulate situations.
To steer people toward the wrong music icon. But when I thought about Shane, I remembered something else.
I've been to Graceland and Neverland. I had birthdays there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it everything they say it is?
And more.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Apparently, Shane, he's gone up to Neverland Valley Ranch, met Michael Jackson.
If there are links between the celebrities like there were last season, then Shane having a party at Diedrich's relative's house would be a pretty good one. So, did Diedrich accidentally reveal his very famous relative's very famous last name? And will Gracie Lou's admitted lack of country music knowledge ruin her plan to pretend to be closely connected to the country music industry? How much more parkour will Miguel do? Find out next week in another Claim to Fame recap. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, if you're so inclined, please like and subscribe. And if you're super so inclined and have a couple spare dollars, please consider using the link in the description to buy me a coffee, because caffeine is the only thing that gets these videos done. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye.